Okay. So in this next section, we're going to ask you a few questions regarding your life and your academics at high school. All right. So, you were part of the Bear Memories Yearbook Committee during your high school. What motivated you to get into such activities like a yearbook committee?
Yeah, so I really like writing and I really like photography. So I just tried it out. I think it was my sophomore year. And I ended up really loving it. So I ended up sticking with the program. And then by the end of my high school trajectory, so my senior year, I was recruited to be editor in chief. So I was basically in charge of
Oh.
the whole program and the fundraisers. So that was really cool. And also, just like I amplified my writing skills. And then aside from that, my photography and my design layout skills.
Hmm. Wow, wow, that's really interesting. And from all the activities you've done in high school, can you share any significant or any memorable experiences that you have? Something that sticks out?
Yeah, so I would I think at this point in my life, in retrospect, I didn't really know this until now. A lot of the people in the yearbook see me as a role model. When I went back to basically tell them that I got accepted into Yale, they all weren't surprised. They were all more like, "We knew you were gonna get in, and we look up to you." Like they basically told me that a lot of people in the valley have looked up to me, and I never really thought about that. A lot of young girls like me who are first generation Latinas have been looking up to me, so that's very wholesome. And thinking that a lot of people in the Bears yearbook are thinking of applying to like top 20 schools because of me also really warms my heart.
Wow, wow, that's really nice. That's really a heartwarming story. You're really an inspiring figure, I bet, to other students around the world as well. Uh, how did participating in programs like the Dell Scholarship and Hispanic Scholarship Future shape your academic interests?
Yeah, so I'd say the Hispanic Scholarship Fund, HSF, specifically that program has really helped me just to know how to give back to my community. The reason that nonprofit program exists is just to give you something and then for you to give something back. So after I graduate, after I end up being successful, hopefully in like 10 years, I really want to give back to minorities like me.
Mm, really interesting, really inspiring as well. And you've done a lot during your high school. How did you balance both your academics and your extracurriculars? And do you have any tips for high school students on how to manage their time effectively or anything like
Mhm. Yeah, so I'd say how I balanced it all. I would first of all say, um, I think you have to get enough sleep. If there's something I learned from my first semester at college is I would be running on 2 to 4 hours my first semester, and first semester is harsh as it is because it's your first semester of college. But when you're lacking a bunch of sleep, that's going to affect you so much more. So I'd say first of all, try to get 7 to 8 hours a night. I think that's very important. And the moment you get tired after like midnight, just put your stuff down and go to sleep because it's not worth it. I think that's something I really prioritized my second semester, which is why I did so much better academically and just like emotionally. And then aside from that, also just utilizing like an organization planner. So for me, I like keeping it digital, so I use Google Calendar. But I also know there's some other ones, especially if you want to keep an aesthetic going. So yeah, I'd say those two would be my top two recommendations. Getting enough sleep in, because if you're not functioning well, you're not gonna produce any good results. And then also just keeping everything organized in a planner.
that? I see. Okay, yeah, right. Those are really advisable and really important things as well. I think sleep is quite important. I try my best to prioritize sleep as well, since we have a lot as high school students and as university students. So yeah, sleep is quite important. Okay. Wuchel, would you like to take over?